Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for mid-August 2024. You have this explosive situations card. It says the destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape a new future. You have this Capricorn card. It says challenges. It will not be an easy path, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goal. So clearly, there could be something that you're working on that is not working out how you want it to. Yes, you have the Four of Cups right here. And so the Four of Cups can represent kind of like disappointments. You know, you've been trying to do something or get something going in your life at least 3 times. And, you know, there's this fourth cup that is reaching out from this cloud. So you've been trying to get something to work, and, you know, again, there's this fourth cup that's coming out of this cloud, and it says that you're kind of thinking about giving something another shot. And I really feel that you have to push through those like little things that get in the way, like the minor annoyances. You know, as a Pisces, I think sometimes it really isn't like the big challenges that get Pisces down. I think it's just the one after another, like little things that kind of prevent us from moving forward on something. Or, you know, it's like if you have to do admin work or paperwork or anything like that, then, you know, that could be kind of what is getting in the way of you kind of completing something or seeing something through to the end. You start with the Three of Swords here. It's like, I think you think something is not going to work, and this is like work or business related is what I see here. And we have the Sun right next to it. So, you know, the Sun is the best card in the tarot. It actually makes the whole entire reading more positive. And I feel like you need to get out of your head a little bit here, Pisces, and, you know, start to believe that things can actually work out for you, or that things can go in your favor. And I think that, you know, if you kind of develop that belief, then, you know, that's what will happen. You know, it's almost like you are kind of like basing your current situation off of a past situation with that Nine of Swords coming up. And maybe you are fearing that you're going to, you know, repeat a mistake again, or that the same thing is going to happen. So it's like, let's say you started a business in the past and it failed. Maybe you're working on one right now, but it's kind of like those fears of failure are popping back up. And that's kind of the feeling I get here, is like the fear of being just disappointed again. And so I think that the first row specifically is really talking about your mindset around, you know, something that you're fearing is going to get in the way, or sorry, I have this in the wrong position, so let's fix that. But, you know, you're like fearing that something is going to cause a problem, or, you know, something is going to get in the way. I also do feel like there could be some like tiny little like admin things. That's like the word that popped into my head. You know, there might just be some, you know, like tiny little things that are, you know, popping up, you know, and I really don't have any good examples like that I can think of, other than it's like, even for like one of my businesses, we had an issue with a payment processor. And so it's like I had to get a different kind of payment processor, and it's like this whole thing, right? And I just don't want to do it. And so like I hate dealing with that kind of stuff, but like I just had to push through it. But it's like those are like the tiny little, you know, annoyances that I think can get in the way for Pisces. And I feel like this is saying, like, don't make mountains out of molehills, right? You know, kind of don't let those things develop out of control. And that's really what I feel here in this first row. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups could be love coming in for you. Not really a love reading yet. You know, that could change in a minute, but when we start clarifying. But we go up to the Nine of Swords to the Knight of Swords. And I do feel like that, you know, I kind of get this feeling that if you do have a person, or if you are attracting a person, you know, I do feel like there could be a good person coming in for you. But again, I think you're maybe a little bit more fearful of repeating a cycle, or that something challenging will come up. And again, I would just say, you know, take your time. If you want love and you want to open up to this person, then I would say go for it, but, you know, just go slowly. The Knight of Cups could also be you. You know, the Knight of Cups can be your dream, or it could be something that you are dreaming of. And so I feel that it could be like a very dreamy time. And again, maybe that's like part of the, like a part of a little bit of the problem that's going on here, is that maybe, you know, sometimes I think maybe during Mercury retrograde, Pisces just wants to be, you know, lost in the daydream, which is fine. But, you know, it's like you want to be in this dreamy world. This is like the feeling I get from this first row, is that you want to be lost in the dream world, but you know, there are some real world like admin things that you have to take care of, right? With the Three of Swords, you have the World. That kind of changes things, because, you know, the World would say that you're completing a negative cycle, you know, or you're completing a cycle in general, and you are about to start your new journey. You know, the World is the end of the major arcana, and then we start all over again as the Fool. This can also be an accomplishment, and I kind of feel like some of you could be overcoming the heartbreak, or you could be overcoming, you know, a challenge, or something that, again, some little tiny thing that has been causing a problem, right? With the Four of Cups, you have the Ten of Cups. Yeah. This is actually looking much better. This would suggest like a turnaround, especially with the Three of Swords and the Four of Cups. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. So again, I would say keep pushing. Even if I'm doing this video on the 9th, I think is today, so it'll be out on the 10th. So it will be out a little bit before the middle of before the middle of the month starts. And I would encourage you not to give up on anything that you're working on. Again, that first card said explosive situation. The destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape a new future. I always say, like, after a forest fire, the forest always grows back 1,000 times stronger. And I also always say that, Pisces is really the little engine that could, right? So I think as long as you keep pushing on whatever you're working towards, that you are going to have great results. You just have to maybe push past a little bit of time. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Seven of Pentacles. You basically start and end with the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? And some of you could be kind of like in a work situation or a business situation or career situation where you're asking yourself, like, is it really worth it for me to put the work into this or not? And again, I think, I don't know, I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer that question on your own, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Magic card. It says Alchemy on it. You have this Inner Core card. It says Solidity on it. And I think, alchemy is about turning one thing into another. And again, I think you could be a little bit surprising yourself the rest of this month and how you can turn your situation around. So it doesn't even matter like how negative your situation looks. I think that Pisces is a little engine that could, and I think you really have the opportunity. Now, again, this isn't going to magically happen for you. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to do something to make this happen. But I think if you start looking for improvements, that you will kind of like be able to turn your situation around, plain and simple. I mean, you have the Sun, and you have the Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. The Sun, kind of makes the Nine of Swords more positive because the Sun makes the entire reading more positive. It is the best card in the deck. I think that you have like a strong, desire. Pisces is the two fish always being pulled in two different directions. And so, it's like you have to deal with like the lower world, the real world, and also the higher world. It's like that dream world, wanting to live in the dream world. And I think right now Pisces is really in a time where it's like you're kind of going in both directions. You see the dream, you see the vision, but it's like getting that, doing that admin work, like I said, which could be anything, just doing real world 3D grounded stuff, I think could be a little bit of a challenge. But the Sun basically says maintain the vision and, keep moving in a positive direction and things will work out for you. I feel, again, these first maybe 2 rows-ish, like 1.5, the first 1.5 rows kind of are saying that your mindset is going to be really important and maintaining a positive mindset is going to be important for you. You have the Nine of Swords. I really do feel that there could be like a new opportunity that's coming in for you that just reminds you too much of the past. And, again, I like, this is one of those things where you're going to have to trust the evidence. You even have the Six of Pentacles right next to it. And so this could be a person, place, or a thing. And Six of Pentacles says small steps, small investments. Like if you're meeting a person, make the small investment. Don't fall in love right away if this is love, because you're a Pisces, right? And you'll probably fall in love right away. So what I would say is little investment. See if they return the favor with the Six of Pentacles. I look at the Six of Pentacles as like the tennis match of love. Like you hit the ball to their side, wait for them to hit the ball back. Don't, start gushing over a person right away and see what happens. I think as long as you don't get carried away, things will be fine. But, again, I think maybe some of you also just have a little bit of fear from the past, and once you move past that, things will improve. You are clearly heading towards improvements. You have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about completely moving on. This woman and this child in this boat, they have nothing on them but the clothing on their back. So they are completely moving on. They are completely letting go and completely releasing the past for the hopes of a brighter future. They don't even know what they're going to get on the other side. They just are hoping that things are, calmer shores. But they don't really, the story of the Six of Swords is they don't know if they're making the right decision. They don't know if when they get to those calmer shores, if things are going to be better. But they just know that where they're coming from was settling, or where they're coming from was not great. So I feel for a lot of you, this is about, kind of releasing the attachments of the past because you're not bringing anything with you. They do have these 6 swords here. The 6 swords just represent like the knowledge, the wisdom, the lessons that they learned. So it's always a good idea to remember the lesson. Again, we don't have to hold on. There's a big difference between holding on to the past and just learning the lesson, saying I've learned this, I know what to look out for, and now I have the knowledge to do so. So I think that a lot of you are just kind of ready to move forward, or you're ready to move on to bigger and better things. With the Sun, Nope. None of those cards wanted to come out. So let's see. With the Sun, you have the Six of Pentacles. So there you go. We have the Six of Pentacles twice. You go down to the Seven of Wands in the area of the good stuff. And the Seven of Wands is kind of like a card of putting up boundaries, or, the Seven of Wands can represent drawing a line in the sand. So like I said, I think that as long as you are just making small investments in the steps that you're taking and you're not over investing, then you're going to have a great time the rest of the month. But if you over invest, that's where the mistakes will be made. And I think if you're meeting a new person as well, the Seven of Wands says make sure that you are drawing those boundaries. Like, make sure you're just kind of putting up the line in the sand. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands about believing that things can be different. The story of the Two of Wands is that he rushed to a finish line. He's standing at the top of his castle, but he didn't enjoy the journey. He didn't take his time. He didn't slow down and see all that life has to offer. And now he's looking out in front of him, and he thinks that this is all that he can accomplish, but he has the whole world in his hands. So it's like he can accomplish so much more if he gets out into the world. And I feel like this is saying there's so much more waiting for you in life, but you're going to have to leave your comfort zones. And again, maybe some of you have put up some comfort zones, or maybe that's what's being exposed to you. It's like a weird reading. It's not bad, but it's talking about a challenge. I'm not going to sugarcoat the challenge here, right? And so it's talking about a challenge, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's saying, it could make sense that it's Mercury retrograde and you're just revisiting a challenge that you went through. And I feel like this is saying, you're working on the belief that things can be different, or you're working on the belief that you can have a different experience. Again, Two of Wands, he thinks that everything is the same. He thinks that it's not even worth leaving his comfort zone, the castle, because even his next experience is going to be the same. But really, if he goes exploring, then he'll discover something new. With the Six of Swords, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, so you're clearly, if you are moving on from anything at all, period, I think that you are heading towards a celebration. I even think that there could be a harvest coming in for you as well. For those of you that are hoping to improve your finances, I do think there is a financial improvement here. Next and here you go, by the way, next in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card that says, expect to have an amazing boost up the business ladder. There you go. You have this activation card that says you're activating your purpose and receiving gifts. So clearly you are heading in the right direction. And I think that you are kind of receiving a boost. And it doesn't even have to be in business. It could be any area of your life that you are receiving a boost with these two cards. You have the Knight of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. I'm wondering if someone is kind of coming in hot and heavy here. Pisces, I kind of get that feeling with the Knight of Swords. It's someone could be coming on to you very strong, and I'm wondering if that's what's, maybe your last person did exactly the same thing. And because of that Nine of Swords, again, Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. And so if you have the same story over and over and over again in love, for example, and then the next person kind of does the same thing, which is kind of the feeling I get here, then I think you're going to be a little bit nervous or whatever. And I feel the Knight of Swords says, well, you can tell the person to slow it down, which is probably a good idea. But, again, I do think that you could be kind of attracting a person that does want to move rather quickly. So again, maybe you need to tell them to slow down or take their time. The other thing with the Knight of Swords is, it is Mercury retrograde, and Knight of Swords is my card of getting a second opinion. But kind of what I'm feeling for you intuitively is that you should be double checking things. Definitely the second half of the month. I think maybe the first half wasn't so bad, but maybe the second half, I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's just saying, if you're signing anything, if you're doing anything important, follow the typical retrograde rules. This is always on my card of really double checking. And again, if you're doing something important, I would make sure to double check what you are doing. You have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles, like I said, is that tennis match, right? So anything new that you're doing, love or otherwise, doesn't matter, I would make sure that you are kind of making those small steps. I think that would be much, much easier on you and your mindset, because again, I do think that you kind of have a very expansive mindset right now, which is actually a very good thing. Again, I think that I keep seeing the two fish. It's you have that big ass, Pisces dream, but you are also maybe, I think the thing that's stressing you out right now is all that grounded work, or all the stuff of needing to do real world stuff. And, that could be the thing that is making things a little bit harder or whatever, kind of making you nervous. So I feel like this is just saying, take the small steps, break things down into bite-sized chunks, right? I have super ADHD as a person, right? And it's like, first off, if I didn't have employees, like, I don't know what I would do. But second, it's like I have to break things down to tiny little bite-sized chunks. And again, it's changed my life. It's actually made me accomplish stuff. So, again, if you're like me, then I would say break things down. You have the Two of Pentacles, and Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. Yeah, look, I just feel like you need to not take things so serious. Again, you could be in a very serious energy, or I just get the stress from the reading. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat the challenge that I see here in the reading. And again, I think there is a little bit of stress, but I think that it could be also coming from several different places. Like, it's kind of funny because, I see these like threads going into you. And like, I think these threads, these things that are pulling on you is like one part of the stress that you're also feeling is I actually think it's excitement, like what you don't realize that you're about to create. It's like sometimes maybe I think us Pisces pick up on things that we're about to do in the future, like intuitively. And really what we're picking up on is like that future excitement. And maybe you just need to change the word in your head. Instead of telling yourself you're stressed, tell yourself you're excited. And I think, that could really fix things for you or help. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Judgment card. I would be careful of the past person, of course. It is Mercury retrograde. Although, this card here, what did it say? It said you're activating your sole purpose in receiving gifts. So this is your purpose. And, some of you, I think, are undergoing a transformation. These people are rising up out of these coffins. And the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And I feel for a lot of you that you are kind of like stepping into a new life. And so, there are certain things you have to leave behind and certain comfort zones with the Two of Wands, right? And so I think you need to answer the call. And, I think Pisces has been doing something since like 2012. So like whatever you're working on, or whatever your business or your career is, or whatever your daily routine is, right? It doesn't have to be work. It could just be something that you do every day. That's probably the thing that's undergoing transformation. And it can be a little scary to like leave something behind and start something new. But I think that Pisces is also thinking this is going to take, it took me 10 years to build this up, and it's going to the next thing is going to take 10 years, right? It's almost like you're putting the schedule on something that doesn't have a schedule. Or, I think you don't realize that you've learned a lot. Six of Swords, right? You're carrying all those swords forward. And I think you need to realize that something isn't going to take quite as long as you think it's going to. Probably going to happen in less than a year. I think you could really blast something out here, especially in work or business. Yes. With the Six of Pentacles, Chariot. Chariot is the key to success. Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. If you want something, you will make it happen. Chariot is also about setting yourself apart. I will say that all three water signs have been getting something like this recently, so it could just be a collective water sign thing going on right now, where water signs are, focused on setting themselves apart. The other thing that I'm getting here, I do have a weird message that I am going to say to you, Pisces, as well. Some of you might be attracting someone, and I think that, you are kind of in this bossing up energy, or you're about to be in this energy of really bossing up. But it's like I don't know, I feel weird about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So what I would say is, I think you're going to attract a person where it's like maybe you want to take the lead, but maybe also they want to take the lead. And, it's like two leaders type of thing coming together here. I don't know. How is it going to work? I have no freaking clue, but I do feel like there is kind of like you want to take the lead, maybe they want to take the lead, but, there might be some negotiation that needs to happen here. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, Queen of Wands is about being very bold, being very assertive, kind of like really going for what you want. So, and not having any evidence that things are going to work for you. Again, the only thing she trusts is her joy. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So she needs to move towards the sun, which is basically nothing. It's just her excitement, her enthusiasm. It's something that makes her feel joyful. So if you have like a big goal, wish, or dream right now, the only evidence you have is your feelings, right? And so I think that for a lot of you, it's saying like move towards your happiness. Next in the area of the good stuff, you have this Air card. It says seek a union of mind and spirit. You also have this Talisman. It says you are destined to succeed. There you go. Are you kidding? Do you need to know more, Pisces? Probably not. I think you are on this path to success, and you just need to believe that you can push through these little obstacles, and I feel you will, so I'm not even worried about it. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. 2 sevens is internal fears that don't exist, but you have 2 sevens in the good stuff, so I do feel you could be overcoming a fear. Seven of Pentacles also tells me that you're probably making a change. Seven of Pentacles, he's grown these pentacles, and he's saying to himself, like, is there more? Is there something different that I could grow? So I think you're ready to grow something new in your life. You have the Nine of Cups. I really like the Nine of Cups next to the Chariot because the Chariot is a card of needing to be in alignment. These two Sphinxes are not attached to the Chariot, and it kind of represents the fact that he is in alignment with what he wants. So those Sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe, and he is being guided towards what he wants because he's in alignment. Nine of Cups is really a card of alignment. So it basically says you are in alignment with your wishes, and therefore you will get your wishes. Next, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, boundaries are going to be really important and, kind of speaking up. I do feel for those of you, again, not really a love reading, but if you want love, I would say here is that I think that you need to not do the Pisces thing and like hold back, right? I think you need to tell someone exactly what your expectations are or whatever, like right up front. Especially, I'm getting here, if you're meeting someone new, it could be a Cancer, it could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or a Leo with the World card, or a Capricorn. It could be any sign that you're meeting here. But I do feel like you could be meeting someone. It might not even be this month, right? Like, maybe this is coming up in the future. But the next person you meet, let's put it that way, with that Seven of Wands, I think the best thing you could do, I'm getting intuitively here, is just like tell them your expectations up front, or tell them like what a relationship is to you, and you can do this in a nice way, right? But I think if more people did this, number one, it would be a good thing. Like, you tell the people like what you expect because we all have expectations. They have expectations too, and if you can't meet each other's expectations, don't do it, right? Plain and simple. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands, yeah. See, like, I also feel like you are trying to protect what you've grown, right? So some of you might be trying to protect something. It's almost like Four of Pentacles energy. It's like you're trying to protect something, but it's preventing you from opening up to something bigger. It's coming up in the good stuff, but again, I read intuitively, and I have to give the messages I get. So it's like such a weird reading, because it's like not bad, but it's like not good either. And it's not a bad reading at all. But I think that it's saying that there's like a little bit of restriction, maybe mentally, going on for you at this time. And I think just opening up to new possibilities is going to create this alchemy that we see here that's going to create success. You have this, with the Nine of Cups, you have the Hierophant. Hierophant is blessings, so, especially in the good stuff, there could be some blessings coming in for you. With the Seven of Wands, you have the King of Wands. There you go. Are you kidding me? I literally said, like, two leaders. Or I was getting something on this Chariot card about, like, two people who, like, normally would take the lead in a relationship or whatever. Like, I know that sounds weird, but, it's like I was getting something about that, and I couldn't really get the message. But it's almost like two people. I think that's where the clash would come in. But I also think, sometimes if we can work through those things and we can, kind of find middle ground or whatever, then those can be really good relationships where you kind of like work things out like at the front of the relationship right away. Then you can work with each other, and that can be like the best type of relationship. But I definitely feel there is something coming in for you where there is definitely a lot of attraction between the two of you. So you could be attracting like a very strong connection. But let's see what's going on here. You have this egg card. It says, success assured with good plans. Like, the whole entire reading might as well have said this, right? So I think there's a lot of success as long as you stick to the plan and don't let those little molehills, those little things that pop up, those little annoyances, don't let those things get in the way. You have this Candle card. It says, you will be shown the way. Yes, I think there's a lot of guidance here. Whenever we have a Sun card in a reading, it pretty much represents guidance. Sun is the light. It shines the light. It's a spotlight. It shines the light on things we need to pay attention to. So trust your inner guidance. What are you being guided towards? And it might mean you are being guided away from something that you have already built. Explosive situation card, right? It says the destruction will allow new growth. Some of you might be reinventing yourself again. And this might remind you of like between 2012, 2016, a lot of you Pisces, between those 4 years, you might have reinvented yourself then, and you're probably doing it again. So, not a bad thing, probably a good thing. You have this Lobster card, and it says financial pinch. I think you've been experiencing a financial pinch all year. It's like maybe your finances aren't bad, but they're maybe not great either. And clearly this is about to change because you have a very good money card coming up. You have this October card, and this Door card says opportunities are waiting for you. Yeah, I do think there are big opportunities. We have an eclipse in October as well, which could be, definitely eclipses can eclipse things out, but they can also kind of bring in opportunity. So, I think there could be big opportunities you're being prepared for. And, there might have been, like, you might have a lot of condensed lessons right now. Maybe that's why I feel this, like, heavy energy here, is that sometimes I think, life is trying to prepare us for, like, the next big thing that we're about to do. And so we get, like, these condensed lessons in life where it's like one after another, and it can be a little annoying, but at the same time you're being prepared for something better. You have this coins card. It says money will be coming to you. So there you go. It's clearly raining money. I actually think that you have an opportunity to really improve your finances as well this month. But this looks really good in some ways. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.